Good evening, everybody. This is Joe Larson and Chuck Schultz. You're watching a 505 on Racing Show. Tonight, we're going to talk about Iowa, Pocono, and Iowa. And tonight, we're going to dedicate this show to a good friend of ours, a late model champion, John Cookie Visconti Jr., when we come back. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. Tonight's show, as I said earlier, is dedicated to the memory of John Cookie Visconti Jr., who passed away and went home to go racing at Heaven Motor Speedway. We said so long to John Cookie one day. That's partially why there was no show last week. And I'll tell you what, the outpouring of people, I don't think he realized how many people he touched in his racing career and in his personal life. I just don't think he knew. And it was quite evident.
Well, it's nice to see that people don't forget.
Was. I just
you know,
wish,
new generations, old generations, it's good.
Yeah, I just wish people would recognize you when you're living.
Well, that's always been one of my pet peeves. It's, very simple. Anytime you see a fire truck on, one of the overpasses of the Southern State Parkway with a flag up there, it's always, they seem to have time to dedicate to firemen when they're on their way to be buried.
Exactly.
But they really don't have the time to do something for them when they're alive,
And I say that all the time. We always have time to rearrange our schedules to go to a wake or a shiva to say so, but we
don't have time to put together for friends. I know you said that before. I thought that was very well said, but it's very true.
It's kind of sad, but I'll tell you what. His send-off, he would have been proud. He would have been proud the way his family handled it. He would have been proud of the things that people said. Some of them were funny. Some of them were I don't want to say sad, but quite emotional. And but it was heartfelt and spoken, from the heart, from everybody who had spoken. And finally, one of the close family friends got up and said, "Enough of the sadness. I'm going to tell some stories to make you laugh." And he made us laugh. So
that's good.
So
that's really what it should be. It should be a celebration. It's not the end. It's just the next. Next beginning.
I've always said it's not goodbye, it's so long for now.
Yeah.
Because I believe that.
Absolutely.
But anyway, I don't want to say a lot going on. The normal stuff's going on in racing this past weekend. I know they had the Baldwin Evans Jazambek Memorial here on Long Island, and I had the opportunity to speak with Tom Baldwin Jr. And, as many of us know here from at least Long Island and down south in the Cup area, Tommy was a Cup owner. He had a team for a number of years. And, I don't want to talk to him. And he's an intense guy. He is, when he's into what he's doing, everything around him is invisible. And he looked up and he saw me and he came over and we took this shot here at the Riverhead Raceway on Long Island. And I said, Tom, how do you go from Cup to now to the bull rings of the NASCAR Wheeler Modified Tour? And he goes, it's no different. Everything's relative.
Yeah.
The expense to revenue is the same. We spend
setup
X,
might be different, but
X minus 3. We spend Y, we make Y minus 3. So, but he loves racing. He loves what he does, and he is one of those guys who helps a lot of people behind the scenes. He doesn't need that pat on the back. He doesn't need the accolades and, I took care of this guy, or I gave this guy, or I gave this guy a chair. He doesn't do that. He just quietly says, here you go. And
Well, that's one of the things that I've always said, and people don't realize it, and of course, I lived it a couple times in different ways. But, you know, when you're doing it as a Saturday night guy, pulling your car down there and stopping at the deli that sponsors you to pick up the food and a hero and some beverages.
Yep.
And you go into the track, you got your barbecue in the back, and,
Yeah.
you know, we're going to party with our friends after the race and hang out, and the lights start going off, and then you pull out of there and get on the expressway and you come home, and it's a different thing.
It is a much different thing.
When you take that R word and you put that B word after it, it's all different.
Yeah.
Anytime you actually make it into a business, it's a different story. A business that you fund, I call it a business.
Exactly.
But now a business that you're not able to fund, where you actually need to make revenue, boy, it's a different animal.
Yeah, I knew when I first got that good season, and I got that little 1099 in like February from the racetrack, and I was like, I made that much? Now I have to go to my accountant, and I have to say, you know, I'm trying to not say anything, just have him just put in, he goes, what is this? And I said, oh, that's earnings in racing. He goes, you know, you got to pay tax on that. I said, I do.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, I was an LLC, and you know, I had to bite the bullet 1 year, but from that day forward, it was approached as a business because they treated us like we were a business. We were independent contractors.
And if you don't make money, then they treat it as if it's a hobby, and then you don't get any deduction at all.
Exactly.
So, yeah, we were there as well, and that was, it's a different story.
Yeah.
You know, my accountant used to treat it as a business, and he had numbers that he would plug in.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, several years we raced there, we actually came out on top,
Yeah.
you know, with sponsor dollars and everything else. And it's, we, of course, you know, we still felt that it was the racing fun.
Yes.
We didn't call it a racing business because we're still having a blast with it. But once you start getting up into the big leagues, where you actually have to come up with some money, you know, stuff that you just can't pull out of your pocket. Oh, we need 150 grand. You know, you can't pull it out of your pocket.
No.
You know what I mean? Then you really have to find sponsors. You really have to have people that are in it to win it, you know, and then you have to answer to people because they're like, oh, well, here's your 150, but now what are you going to do for me?
They want to return.
What are you going to do with the 150? I'm going to buy tires?
Yeah.
They don't want to hear that.
They don't want to hear that. You're exactly correct. Because what they want to hear is, all right, I just gave you 150,000. I need to break even or show some kind of return on that. And that's where a lot of the weekly guys just don't, I don't want to say they don't get it, but they don't get it. They don't get it.
Yeah, rule of thumb, the break even is 3 times investment.
Yeah.
But that's also provided you go to the sponsor and say, listen, you're giving me 150,000 to be on a car. You know you have to also put in 150,000
Exactly.
to support this
Yes.
endeavor. In advertising and promotions, you have to use this in order to make it work. You just can't rely on the fact that we're putting it on the car and make it happen.
No.
So when you talk about $150,000, 3 times investment, it's 3 times 300,000.
Yep.
You're talking $900,000. They have to look at.
Yeah. And then people don't look at it that way. No. They really don't. And I know back in the day when I was a kid watching races, you know, and I said it back then and I'll say it today, you know, 50 years later. The local guys are giving away quarter panels because somebody bought them a tire. They're giving away trunk decks because somebody gave them fuel every week. And they're just short selling themselves. And a lot of times it's their buddy, hey, Liz, I'm going racing. I need a tire. It's $100. Here you go. And they blazingly put his name on the car.
And the guy that puts it on the car, you got to pay him something. You know,
Well, feed him or something. You know,
you got to do something. Yeah, Magic Mike's not coming over to your car for nothing.
No.
You know, you got to give him a couple of bucks or something.
He's got to, like you said, get something for his again return on that
Return on investment, right?
investment. But Cookie Visconti, he was one of the first racers in short track in the country to bring corporate sponsorship to the weekly racing series.
That's nice.
And that was with his deal with AMSOIL. And his teams, they had uniforms, they were dressed neatly. Even the kids, the little guys, you know, that showed up and, you know, kind of snuck into the pits or helped in the shop, were dressed in uniforms. And he was innovative with that, with the local, you know, racetrack. So he will be missed, I know, by many.
Missed but not forgotten.
Never. I'll tell you what, and I said this a few times at the services. I said, you know, share a Cookie story, and he lives on. He lives on, and even some of the guys that were there. A guy that he beat. It was a little story. I'll tell real quick. I was talking to this guy. I only know him as Wink. Wink. And the guy said he never watched the show, but he was quoting things that we did. So obviously he was watching it.
There's a lot of people that don't watch this show.
Yeah, oh yeah, a lot of people don't watch it. So he says to me, he goes, it's the last race of the season. The way the points work, I have to finish ahead of Cookie to be the champion. Cookie has to finish ahead of me to be the champion. So, in fact, his wife made 2 cakes. One that had Cookie's car in the icing. One had her husband's car.
Right.
And Cookie wins the race. The guy finished third. Cookie's the champion. And
So what did they do with the other cake? They didn't eat it?
they took pictures of it, and they stood side by side like 2 tough competitors who were really friends, you know. And that's what it's all about. Friends. I made a lot of friends racing, as you have too.
Yep.
And some of them have gone on their way and, you know, moved on, and some by natural causes, some because they decided to. And I don't mean they took their own, but it was time for them to go. And we had a lot of fun with those people, and a lot of fun. So but when you look at these things, it's just it's still sad. But, you know, having an opportunity to
It
talk
is,
to,
and you know, because we've raced so long, we know so many people that, unfortunately, you know, a lot of people are moving on to that big racetrack in the sky,
yeah,
and, you know, eventually that comes to all of us. I guess we'll all be there.
they're going to have to run the Contis there pretty soon, you know, like B-mains or something, because there's a lot of guys.
They should run concerts. I was good at winning those.
You know? At Isis Speedway, 1979, I started 33rd the Consi, 33rd the Taken 2.
33rd in the Consi.
33rd in the Consi. My
That's
friend
a lot
goes,
of
why
people."
bother? I said, because I came here to race. I didn't come here to load up and go home.
Right, exactly.
You know, and
Get
you
some
understand
seat time.
that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Anyway, I think it's we got to take a break. And we take a break, we'll come back, and we're going to talk about what went on with the Cup, Xfinity, and the Gander Outdoor Truck Series when we come back.
Hey, what's
Set It
oh,
Up.
I said was gonna say what's up for some reason. Hey, we're Set It Up, and you're watching the Inravio TV network.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop, 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Hi there, this is Buddy from Less Than Jake, and you are listening to Inravio TV. You're probably watching it too.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. And before we get into results of this weekend, Cliff Daniels has been named a crew chief for Jimmy Johnson's number 48 car at Hendrick Motorsports. Daniels was the race engineer for Johnson when he won the championship in 2016. So there's some little shakeup going on there.
Yeah, I wonder what's happening over there.
A lot of changes with Jimmy Johnson between crew chiefs and car chiefs and thing. I'm thinking once his contract's up, Jimmy Johnson is going to either become a car owner or a golfer.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's, that's what they start doing. And we have a picture of this altercation, not an altercation. Bubba Wallace and Daniel Suarez had a discussion on pit road post-race, a heated discussion, and they were going at it pretty good. It got quite animated, and there's Suarez's hand on his shoulder now. If that's not a if that's not a listen, you, but Bubba and him, I don't remember or did not see or anything of them getting into it on the racetrack. However, I did see Suarez in highlights getting into it with a bunch of other people. So maybe he wasn't sure who got into him.
Yeah. And he was just picking the guy that was closest to him.
You know, he's going to pick the guy with, I guess, that he thinks he can handle. I don't know. But Bubba's a tough guy. I wouldn't be messing with Bubba. I wouldn't mess with Bubba, And
just because his name's Bubba, I wouldn't mess with him.
Exactly, I didn't even look at it that way. You call it, he's Bubba, Because usually Bubba's a big muscular guy.
You would think.
He's an average muscular guy. He's not big and what, but I'll tell you what, he's pretty solid. He's pretty solid. So
my friend Harvey is bigger than me.
Exactly. Come on, Harvey. Anyway.
I got a friend Shirley bigger than you.
So yeah.
That's an inside joke if you watch the honeymoon.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Welcome to the chat room. We got a bunch of people in the chat room here.
Yeah, I see
22
that.
figure 8.
Yeah, 22 figure 8. Who's
Jay Slice.
Jay Slice. We had another person in there earlier, but he left. Thank goodness. He's very negative.
Oh yeah.
But we'll leave that at negative.
That's all right.
You
Everybody's got an opinion.
Yeah, but anyway, and anyway, Pocono this past weekend, it was hot. Pocono, it was hot.
It was hot here.
It was hot here, and even on the water it was hot.
It was hot.
So it was hot. Anyway, we got the results out of Pocono for the Cup Series. Denny Hamlin was the winner there, followed by Eric Jones. Martin Truex Jr. was third. William Byron fourth. Kyle Larson fifth. Kevin Harvick was sixth. Daniel Hemrick seventh. Brad Keselowski eighth. Kyle Busch ninth. And rounding out the top 10, David Blaney.
I'll tell you, Denny Hamlin, he comes to Pocono, he's always a contender there.
Oh.
He's got rails at that track.
He does.
He really does have it down pat.
Yeah, he does. It's been to Pocono. I know you've been to Pocono how many times?
Yeah, we pretty much lived there for a while.
Yeah, and it's not a unique NASCAR racetrack. It is different.
It's got its own little set of things going on.
And there's 3 corners that they call them turns, turn 1, turn 2, and then they have a sign on what says turn 4 with a question mark because there is none.
Right.
And each turn is is designed after a famous turn in somewhere else.
Somewhere else, yeah.
So it's a good place.
Turn one's a high bank, comes up pretty
Exactly.
quick. And I'll tell you what, if you've ever been to Pocono and you've never been on pit road, you could virtually take your house with you and 2 friends with their houses, and you guys can have it out on the front straightaway of Pocono. It's so wide.
Yeah.
It's that big. It
Yeah.
really is. You could race your house down the front straightaway with 2 other people and not touch. It's
Exactly.
just, it is unbelievably wide. You know, we got pictures of my car, you know, on the track because
Yep.
we did some testing there. And it was like, so where's the car? And you actually have to point it out in the picture. It's small.
Yeah.
When you're down on the track, it's amazing how wide that track is.
Oh, it's incredible. You don't even think you're on the racetrack. It's that wide.
Yeah,
It's
it's
that wide.
big. Yeah, and kudos goes out to Denny Hamlin for winning that race, and one of my crew members is on Denny Hamlin's team, John Farino. So
You taught him everything you know.
I did
And
teach
I don't
him.
say that jokingly. You taught him everything he knows.
I did.
You know.
Matter of fact, that's no. I've known John Farino for quite some time, and when we were at Pocono, we spent a lot of time there, like I said, and we started early having some adult beverages because we were working there.
Yeah.
And I had.
Well, it was really. I'm going to say it was late because it was late
It was
the
still
night before.
late the night before,
Yeah.
and so anyway, John Farino, he shows up there and he's knocking on my truck, and they're like, "Hey, somebody's here, wants to see you." I'm like, "No, nobody's here." "Yeah, he's here. He wants to see this guy." And I'm like, "No," and he was, and he's like, "I want to come racing. I want to learn." I was like, "All right," so that's where he started.
Yeah.
Yep, another Riverhead Raceway guy.
Yeah, there's a bunch of us down there. Anyway, the Xfinity Series, they had some fun time this weekend as well. We got the results for the Xfinity Series, and here they go. We had Chase Briscoe as the winner there, followed by Christopher Bell. John Hunter Nemechek was third. Noah Gragson was fourth. Tyler Reddick fifth. Justin Allgaier sixth. Shane Lee seventh. Justin Haley eighth. Zane Smith ninth. And Michael Annette rounding out the top 10. And
Tell you what, a lot of the same names coming up in that top 10 every week.
Every
I
week.
mean, they're very consistent.
you know, every week. And
I'm sure people have got an eye on them and looking at them.
you know, it's yeah. You know, it's like the how do you call it, the minor leagues of racing.
That's what it's supposed to be,
You know,
right?
and that's what it's supposed to be. And the truck series, when it was the True Values truck series when it first started, was for guys and gals, I guess, that didn't have the money to race in the top 2, or guys that were kind of on their way down, and they would run in this series and as a name drawer. You know, that's how some of the old timers, I don't want to say old timers, but went into that truck series. Hey, look, we don't have a Cup Fired for you. We don't have at the time Nationwide car for you. But you know what? Run this truck series, and you see sometimes.
It was kind of like the minor leagues, but at the same token, it was a place that you could do something. You could actually make
Exactly.
something happen.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
at one time we were looking at a truck. Actually, we were headed out to Vegas to pick a truck up.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, without a doubt. And then what else? Anyway, we had the Gander Outdoor Truck Series. They also ran this weekend, and we have those results coming up in a second. Here we got the Gander Outdoor Truck Series. Ross Chastain was first, Tyler Ingram second, Harrison Burton third, Christian X fourth, Brett Moffitt fifth, Matt Crafton sixth, Todd Gilliland seventh, Johnny Sauter was eighth, Ben Rhodes ninth, and Grant Enfinger rounding out the top 10. That series as well now is turned into a young kids development series, it appears to be.
Yeah,
You know, which is what the K&N was supposed to be.
right. The Bush North.
The Bush
Of the
North,
day.
There you go. And then they kind of started moving things around, and before you knew it, it was just a whole different ball game.
Well, that was not many people remember, but there was also a sportsman division
Yes,
for a small, short period of time.
yes,
And the sportsman division was the precursor to the North.
yes.
So you do Bush North, you could do the sportsman division, which would get you some of the southern tracks, and then you'd go bush racing.
Right.
But that was back when, you know, they were all Cup cars that you could just, slap a motor in and go,
Yeah.
That's
Pretty much all it was. That's what it was. And
different car, I think, different set of rules, but, pretty much about the same car.
yeah, and for those who think I'm like texting all my friends and putting in my bets, I'm just answering some stuff that's on.
He's got a bet on a horse.
Yeah.
He's answering the chat, so we've got social media happening while we're doing the show.
Oh man, people ask me great. It's funny. People say to me, "Do you ever get that phone out of your hand?" Yeah, when I'm in the shower.
He's like a 13-year-old girl, this guy. He's like Social Sally. I mean, if you want to know what Joe had for breakfast, go to his page. He'll tell you.
I don't remember what I had for breakfast.
A bottle of red, a bottle of white. I saw the post. Come
said
on,
it.
everybody saw it. Come on.
Perhaps a bottle of rosé instead.
You forgot the rosé. You didn't know how to spell it. You just put rose.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh, this is like therapy for me coming here.
It's the world we live in.
This is like therapy.
Everything is social media. But you know what? We're doing great on Facebook. And you know what? They were saying in the chat room there that all you got to do to get sponsors is put the name on a quarter panel. Sponsor wanted. That's what we need, Joe. We need a sponsor wanted quarter panel.
Yeah, we do.
Right?
We need like a banner that goes across, sponsor wanted.
Yeah, it's flash, like the bad weather thing
Yes.
scrolling across.
And it
the
would make that
bottom.
noise.
You do that good.
I do.
You should get a job
Because I
doing
can't,
that.
because my fingers like all bent, like, let me get the right angle. Because I broke it and I didn't get it fixed.
See.
So I can't do it with this finger. And this finger hurts from the wreck still, so I have to make the noise. It does. It was split in half, all the way down to below the nail. When I had that wreck, I said, hit the dashboard, because I never wrapped my thumbs around the steering wheel. For that reason, because
Oh, really?
Yeah, because Luigi, when I was a kid, Luigi Terrapicchio ran figure eights at Ice Speedway in the 60s and the 70s. And he sat in the middle of his car. He had an Italian and American flag. He came in his country the right way through Ellis Island and did all the right things.
In a figure eight car.
And, yeah, exactly. And he hit the wall, and he was holding it so hard
Oh, man.
that his thumb came all the way back to his elbow. So when I saw that, I said, because I was a kid, I said, if I ever race, I'll never hold the steering like that. So I don't. And you look at my in-car video from Daytona, my thumbs, really, I was doing a lot of this because I thought I was going to crash.
At 150 miles an
At
hour.
150 miles an hour, yeah, 155.85.
That's it.
Yeah.
But you felt like you were doing 200.
Well, I did.
Because
until-
once you get over a certain speed, it's all relevant.
Well, it is until
It's
you
like-
do look quickly to the right, see the seats that are just one solid blur, or when they had the real Cup drivers driving the ride-along people, the two-seaters.
And they blow past you like
and
a
they
sand
go
storm.
by, and your car does this from the wind, and you realize you're really not going that fast.
You're not going 200 miles an hour. Yeah.
But, it was fun. I recommend that to anybody, whoever wants to drive a race car and thinks it's so easy as they're holding the fence. Oh, he took him out. He did.
And there's no promotional consideration for that.
Yeah, none. I didn't name which one. There's many.
But if you do want to advertise on the show, it's 855-4-INRAVIO.
There you go. There you go.
Or just PM us.
Yeah.
It's a new world now.
Oh, man. Anyway, let's see. What am I looking at? Oh, yeah. So anyway, a lot of things going on for 2020 already. And
Yeah, it's getting down to the wire already, huh?
It is, and the sanction agreements end in 2020. And so when that happens, then you're really going to see some change in 2021. The new heads of NASCAR are more race,
Savvy.
yeah, than the last guy who was into driving around Sag Harbor.
Business savvy.
Yeah, he drove around Sag Harbor. Instead of being at a race in Pocono, Sag Harbor, for those who know, is on Long Island. It just little northwest of the Hamptons. It's a tiny little town with a speed limit of like 25. So don't go 40. Don't have adult beverages while
Before
you
you're
go.
doing 40.
And don't have controlled substances in your pocket. Just saying, because it's not a good idea. And don't say, do you know who I am? Because that whole town is full of, do you know who I ams?
Yeah, it's a big town.
Your do you know who I am means nothing.
Yeah, the marina there, the boats are,
Exactly.
not a couple $100,000, they're a couple of $1,000,000.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And it's locked off. You can't even go look at them.
No.
On the dare.
You might use a drone. maybe if they don't shoot it down.
Just shoot it down, yeah.
If they don't, funny story. There's in Shelter Island, which isn't too far from Sag Harbor.
Mm-hmm.
They have a marina with yachts, not boats. Now, like a boat like yours would be like the dinghy.
It's the dinghy, right, for that boat, yeah.
All due
They call that
respect.
the tender. This is what we use to get from the boat to shore.
Well, there was a gentleman. I'm not going to say who it is. It's a person that I know, and I don't know him enough to go to his house and have dinner, but I do know him. And his thing was he had to have the biggest yacht in Marina. So Riverhead's celebrating their 25 years with the promoters of then and 50 years as a racetrack. Bill France's yacht goes up to Long Island a week ahead of time. That's where he's going to stay. And they dock there. They see the dock master. They rent a slip for whatever it was. And
$9
Bill
million
France,
a day.
And Bill France took the private jet out. Well, the gentleman who had to have the biggest yacht saw this yacht there. He's trying to figure out who it belongs to. And he goes out and buys a bigger yacht because he has to have the biggest one.
And once you get to the biggest yacht club, then the next thing you're doing is whose yacht is faster.
Oh, yeah. Oh, without doubt. And who has more, like service people and crews and maids and waitresses.
And I, without talking about them, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, so I don't think I'll ever have to worry about having the biggest yacht.
No, I don't think it's an issue.
In fact, I'm not going to have the biggest anything, trust me. I just have, what you need is a couple of good, solid friends, somebody to love you, and that's all you need.
And a friend's got a boat, and you go out on his boat.
Exactly, and a new barbecue.
That's what I need.
And a gazebo. With a live band.
With a live band. I just happen to have a live band in my backyard. It just happened that way.
Hey, So anyway, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Touring Series, K&N Pro Series East, and the NASCAR Wheeling Modified Series when we come back.
Hi, I'm Remington.
I'm Emerson.
And I'm Sebastian.
We're Palais Royale, and you're watching Inravio TV.
There we go.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Hey, this is Chris Less Jake, and if Inravio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop, 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Hi, this is Mike Jarecki from My Race News, and you're watching the Inravio TV network.
welcome back.
Well, I tell you what, they're having a blast in the chat room over there on the website, and I
Yes,
think
they
you guys
are.
are having a blast in the chat room on Facebook Live, too. so.
Yes, they are. Oh, yeah. Between the yacht, my thumbs,
The Black Hat.
black hat. We haven't had the black hat in a long time. And that other guy.
Right, that they're making fun of that left.
Yeah, because it was boring. So he's going to watch his own.
What are you going to do?
Hey, you know, it's not for everybody. Not for everybody. Anyway,
Can't all be Andrew Dice Clay.
yeah. The K&M Pro Series was had a, what do they call it, a joint race with the K&M Pro Series West and East at Iowa this past weekend. I believe we have results for that. And I think we do, because there it is. Sam Mayer, he's winning everything, that guy. Was the winner. Ty Gibbs was second. Ruben Garcia Jr. was third. Derek Kraus was fourth. Chase Cabaret was fifth. Hannah Gray was sixth. Drew Dollar seventh. Trevor Huddleston was the eighth. Spencer Davis was ninth. Max McLaughlin rounded out the top 10.
Some young guns there, that's good.
Yeah. And you know, at the K&M Pro Series East and West, I don't know what's in store for them with the ARCA Series and the merge in 2020.
Yeah, what's going to happen,
What's
what's
going to
coming.
happen to them?
I hope whatever it is, it's very gentle and that it's not a ton of money for people to continue.
Yeah, because
Because I hate seeing that when, you know, they obsolete stuff or do away with something and you got to rebuild and restart, and that's just, I don't like that. That's just
you know,
very difficult for people to continue. You know, they're having a hard enough time doing what they're doing. you know?
exactly. And back when it was the Busch North, as we remember it, it was a regional, truly a regional series that raced throughout New England, and they had a good car count. They had some good talent that moved up from the modifieds. A handful of them went up into what was called then the Nationwide Series. And then all of a sudden, rules started changing. Cars were obsolete. You needed $1 million sponsors, and they took the series right away from the people who built it. And then it became what it is today, and now there's low car counts. And I know there's low car counts everywhere, but there's low car counts. Basically, what they made it is a development series for the other series. And I don't think that was a smart thing to do. And I hopefully the power is to be, once they fix the Cup and the Xfinity Series, they look at the Touring Series and see what they got to do.
For the Saturday Night Guy, the Busch North Series was like, oh, this is the big time. You know?
Right.
That was a big thing. I remember, was it Ron Thiel who came
Ron
with
Thiel.
that Busch North car? Remember?
Yep.
And they had him. He was like a hero.
Yeah.
They gave him a couple laps at the track, at the local track.
Yep.
And people had given him a standing ovation because he was I think a late model guy.
It was late model guy.
Sponsored by Levitt's.
Levitt's Furniture.
Whatever happened with them. Levitt's, right? And all of a sudden he's got a Levitt's sponsorship, big haul, and the whole thing with a Busch North car.
Yeah.
Looks like everything's going good.
Boom.
Boom.
Done.
Wrong place at the wrong time.
Exactly. Exactly. Anyway, the NASCAR Wheeling Modified Tour was, I believe they were not in action. They were in New Hampshire 2 weeks ago. They will be running this weekend. But there's something I want to talk about with the NASCAR Wheeling Modified Tour. Little press release that was sent my way. Put my glasses on so I don't miss it. For the first time ever, the NASCAR Wheeling Modified Tour will race at the Iowa Speedway in 2020. 2020 was to be how can we remember? Will be the tour's 36th season. I'm sorry, 2020 will be the tour's 36th season, and scheduling was almost throughout the East, the Northeast, and now they're spreading around and go to Bristol and things of that nature. They used to run in Richmond, but the 6 races, or the races prior to Iowa, is a mix of historic tracks all on the East. Now, the tour is going to share the stage that weekend with the Xfinity Series. It'll be the weekend of July 31st and August 1st. Now, here's my question. I can only go from Long Island because that's where I live. From Long Island, it's 1,200 miles one way, and if everything is perfect, no traffic, no delays, no breakdowns, God forbid. It's a 17-hour ride plus. So your crews are taking off a week. The tour guide, they're working people for the most part.
Well,
They're taking off a week.
you're
for
right.
work.
But keep in mind, I do go to New Smyrna.
Right.
I mean, that's a trip and a half.
Yeah.
They do go down to Carolina. That's a 13-hour trip from here. You know, I'm wondering, are they trying to spread this level a little bit? Because there's no doubt that the modified tour, it's a good tour. It's
It is.
It's a good race.
It
They put on a
is.
good show everywhere they go. I mean, am I like talking out of my hat that I don't have? That maybe they're going to start spreading this across the country?
You know,
You know, where they'll have maybe a Midwest tour, Eastern tour, and join them at some point, have one big world of
Yeah,
something
I mean,
or other?
when
I
I-
mean, because they're exciting.
oh yeah, when
And
I
there's
saw
plenty
this,
of tracks out there.
and I'm looking at them like, because I worked a few races for NASCAR at Iowa, beautiful facility, ideal for the modifieds, ideal. But what kind of payout do they have to offer?
To get them out there.
Because it's going to cost a fortune just to drive there and drive back. They didn't buy tires, they didn't buy fuel for the race car,
Yeah.
and they didn't pay for their hotel rooms. And not all of them have holders. And Jamie Tomania, when he ran the tour, he ran like over 600, almost 700 shows. He slept in his enclosed trailer to save money, as to not get to buy a $150,000, $200 motor coach or stay in a hotel down the road. So they bunkered down in their trailer. Him, his wife, his daughter, his crew, his sons, they slept in the hauler. And most facilities had a shower and a bathroom, so, and they would utilize that. But, I know they did go to New Smyrna. However, I think New Smyrna is unique because it's speed weeks. Most of the teams are down there anyway.
It makes sense.
And so you know what?
And it's a thing. It's something they do every year.
Yeah. So NASCAR and its good ones say, wait a minute. For like 40 years, all the top modified drivers are going to New Smyrna. Most of them raced our series. Let's make some money. And they brought them. They sanctioned the race there. I mean, because for years, New Smyrna wasn't even a NASCAR sanctioned facility. I can remember signing into that.
It was
lost
for the
count.
guys that had cabin fever to basically shake
Yep.
down their cars.
I've been there more times than I want to remember, and I can remember signing in above the sign-in booth. Racing is a dangerous sport. Sign in at your own risk. People get injured here, or something to that effect. And I'm like, why would they put that up there?
You will die.
Yeah, well, could, yeah. And people have, unfortunately. But when I see that, I'm like, NASCAR needs to start paying these teams better purses.
To get them out to
And even like, yeah,
So
Bristol,
Does that mean now you're going to have a Roush team and a Hendrick team and
that's coming.
in the modified division?
I'm usually not wrong about those things. That's coming.
You think so?
Yeah. What do you think Tommy Bolden's doing? And I love Tommy Bolden. He's there like testing the waters.
Think so?
Oh yeah, yeah.
'Cause he knows it's coming.
There's a lot of motors that are coming down from the Cup Series down, and I know the Fords. Oh man, the Fords were coming down from. And now why can't I remember?
Roush?
No. Oh man, he just passed away from cancer. He had He had Davey Allison's car as the owner. I couldn't believe it.
See, now you're making me draw a blank.
Yeah.
Yates.
Robert Yates.
Roush Yates.
There's Yates Motors. There's Roush Yates Motors, and don't be surprised if you start seeing those guys putting some motors in these modifieds and sending some of their guys down to run modifieds. And not only so, they're going to do 2020. They're going to be in Iowa, which is kind of weird because the schedule normally doesn't come out till the week of the banquet in December. So they have to leak this stuff,
Yeah, they're already testing the water.
Yeah. So
They're putting a bug in everybody's ear so that now they know what's going on. So now, how many tracks are they going to hit between here and Iowa?
see,
I mean, how much more can they put on the schedule? I mean,
well, my first couple of years when I was the race director on the NASCAR Women Modified Tour with the Featherlight Tour back then, it was 26 or 28 races that we had between April and October. but Stafford had 5, Thompson had 6, Riverhead had 2, Waterford had 2, Seekonk had 2, all these like Beechwood up in Maine, all the places, Holland up in upstate New York, Richmond, the places that went to Martinsville. There were a lot of races held at these places, and then all of a sudden it was down to 14, 13. Get a couple of rainouts, you ran 11. And that opened the door for all those other series to come in, all the other modified series. And the modified series that they have that broke off from the NASCAR modified series are former drivers, for the most part, that used to run the tour. I can remember that there was so many cars that came to run Riverhead, plus the locals, that NASCAR sent me to the shops of the locals to pre-inspect them for safety during the week, because there was 50 cars to start 24. You couldn't, from the time the gates opened to the time practice started, get all those cars inspected. And there was 2 years, and I wasn't prepared to talk about this, otherwise I'd have the exact numbers. There was 2 years, more cars went home than started the race. And that was the year that Wayne Anderson, who was a former champion, beat out Jamie Tomato for a past champions provisional. Wayne didn't run in the tour. He only ran the Riverhead races. Jamie supported it. So the following year, they changed the rule.
Right.
So that you had to be a competitor in the current season to be eligible for the past champions.
Right, yeah.
And not just 2 races at your local racetrack.
Right.
Whether I agree with it or not, it doesn't matter. It kind of hurt Jamie, but Wayne won by the rules. He was a past champion.
Right, sure.
And he was the most recent past champion.
Race car drivers are good at looking between those lines.
Oh,
boy.
yeah. Oh, yeah. So,
But yeah, you know, it's interesting to see what might come out of that, or if it's good or bad. But you're right. They brought the races down, opened up for all the other series now to go out there and do something.
yeah.
And they just jumped in on it. And look how many other modified divisions there are out there.
There's so many, and they're all over the place. They are so over the place. And again, my concern with going all the way out to Iowa, it is, you know, July 31st, August 2nd, whatever it was they said before. It is in a period of time where there's only a handful of races left for the modifieds under the past schedules. I don't know what it's going to be in 2020. And the same thing happened when the modifieds went to Canada. They went to Delaware Speedway in Ontario, Canada, and it was September. And the only drivers that came were the drivers in the top 20.
Right, because they needed to come.
They needed to
You
come.
didn't have a choice.
A race like that needs to be held earlier in the season, because everybody early in the season still has a shot, per se.
Yeah, by the time you get down to the end, you're only going to get the ones that have to come.
You're wallowing in 27th in points. You would have to win, and everybody else would have to stay home to be in the top 20.
Well, it might be a good thing, because if you're the only one that toes out there.
No. and actually, I know, if I'm not mistaken, only the top 15 get point fund money now. So, and the tire program changed. It used to be if you were in the top 20, you got so many free tires. If you finished in the top 20 last week, you got a free tire.
Right, I remember that.
And if you won if you were on the tire deal, it was a pretty good deal. It was a pretty good deal, but that deal ended, like all other good things. It ended, and I don't want to say I was a mistake, but you know,
It's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out.
yeah, and I really hope that the teams get compensated. And you know, people talk about tow money. Tow money is like saying I got to go crank my car to start it. They don't do tow money anymore. But
Yeah.
do they help? I know when the icebreaker at Thompson Motorsports Park and the World Series, they did accommodate and take care of the Southern boys who came up to race it with, you know, hotel
Towing up.
vouchers
Yeah.
and gas coupons and stuff of that nature to get up here.
Little extras to get them up.
Yeah, it did.
To bring the car count up, yeah.
It did cause a little.
Bit of a rift.
Yeah, with the guys like Jamie Tomato said, I've been in this series since before it started, and not once did anybody say, "Oh, here's even a food voucher." You know, on us, go have a steak dinner somewhere.
Go have a couple of hot dogs
Yeah,
and beans
no, yeah, in a little cup. You know,
in the cup.
somewhere, you know. But
Yeah, that's the sad part. You know, and
Yeah.
this guy's sleeping in his trailer to try to make ends meet.
yeah, trying to
And they're
race
giving out hotel vouchers to other guys that are towing.
something. But like I said, they go to New Smyrna, but they're there in New Smyrna for the week. They're not just going for one race.
Yeah.
They're there for
It's a
9
thing.
races.
It's a whole event.
Yeah. And
It's kind of like their Woodstock.
yeah, and you know, somebody's thinking about, you know, getting a bus and going out for the race. I don't think they understand how much that's going to cost, because, you know, if you use like a company that has the coach buses, that driver gets paid from the time he starts the engine to the time he shuts the engine off back at his bus depot. So that's not going to be a cheap ride.
Yeah.
So what it's going to
And
cost
they can
everybody.
only run 10 hours.
Exactly.
And they won't sleep in a bus.
Nope.
You
And
got to
so-
get them a hotel room.
Yep. So you're talking.
We went through that with the Inravio tour bus.
Yes, we did. And, you
And
know.
so you're talking about, you know, 2 drivers, 2 shifts.
Yep.
Possibly.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're not getting there in 17 hours because they have to stop.
Not unless you lay over the whole bus.
Exactly. So they would, and I told them there was some discussion about that on social media, and I said it would be easy if I flew out there. I mean, NASCAR paid for it, but I wouldn't have driven there. There was no way I would have driven there. And I do recall that once we're at the closest hotel to the racetrack, it was still an hour away.
Really? There's nothing
Driving
around
through
there?
a cornfield. I'm like, where the heck are we going? It's just up the road a piece.
Follow the American Picker guys.
Oh my goodness, yeah, really. It was like when we went out to Adirondack Speedway, upstate New York and Adirondack Mountains. And they said, you go through the little town and make the first ride over the railroad track. So we leave the hotel and we're driving, we make the first ride, and then we're going and over the railroad tracks, and there is no right. Half hour later, the road ends. You go either left or make a U-turn. So we must have missed it. So we go back over the railroad, make another U-turn. Pay attention now, look for that right-hand turn. And I remember that the Flagger Bob Slade was driving, and somebody goes, there's a dirt road there, could that be it? Oh, let's try it. So we're driving down this dirt road, it was over the river, through the woods, to grandmother's house would go type
And
of
you see
thing.
the Bates Motel?
This is what we see. Yeah, this is what we see. We see like a high banked turn in the middle of nowhere. But there's no other turn. The track was still being built. Kid you not? We raced on like the inner pavement part. The track wasn't done being built yet.
Really?
So now I'm up in the tower and I'm calling practice. You know, okay, slow it down, do this, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden they said, red, put it out, red now. So they put out the red. I say, and as I'm saying this, I say, Spotter, tell your drivers to stop now. There's people coming out of the woods crossing the racetrack like they're going across the street to get a cup of coffee. Because that's how they came to the racetrack. They walked through the woods.
Across the track.
Across the track. And they couldn't hear the cars. But that was normal to them. See, everybody's normal is different.
Yeah, everybody's normal is different. That's correct.
We had that story. Everybody's normal is different.
They look at you like you got 2 heads, and you're like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. Oh my goodness, it was interesting, but and that track was built with state funding. Now imagine if that happened on Long Island, there'd be politicians going to jail. But up there, it's okay.
For them to cross the racetrack?
No,
Or to build a track?
Yeah.
Wasn't that where we got Freeport Speedway from?
Yeah, well, it was a
That didn't last long.
municipal stadium.
Correct.
Yes, because they played football.
Used for entertainment.
Yes, exactly. And then
And it was used well.
It was.
That was a fun track.
You know, I was a kid the last time I went there.
Yeah.
You know, and I saw a lot of pictures from Freeport, thanks to
The Heinz Museum.
the Himes Museum, which, by the way, the Marty Himes Drive and Old Timers reunion, which he said would never happen again.
Because he doesn't know what's happening.
Right.
I think that he doesn't have a clue what's happening.
And he said that to us in an interview. So it's now renamed the Old Timers Storytelling.
Shoot the breeze,
Let's go hang out and talk.
which is what it was anyway.
Exactly. So, I hopefully that when we get there, Marty doesn't say get out, and I hope he knows about it, because I could see his grandsons just saying, we got to do this. I can see that because they don't want it. I don't want to see it stop coming.
Nah, who wants it?
You know, it's pretty good. You know, you get to see some people that you don't know.
And you can go there and see the plaque that he was awarded.
Yeah,
Very
but-
nice plaque.
Don't move it. Don't move. Remember we tried?
Don't move nothing over there. Marty, can I move this milk box? No.
Oh man, it was like
Can't move that box.
No, don't move nothing. He said. No, but yeah, we had some fun. We had some fun that day. We had some fun. Anyway, we're gonna take a break, and we come back. We'll shoot the breeze a little bit and wrap up when we come back.
Hey guys, this is Jibs from Ocean's 8 Alaska, and you're watching Inravio TV Network.
Village Music Shop of Master. 1-800-HEY DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop, 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Hey, I'm Raul Panther.
And I'm Commander B. Hawkins.
And I'm Mark Willett. We're some of the proto men. If we see you without this bracelet, you get punched in the But if you have this bracelet from Inravio.com, you can win $100.
Put one of these on, or else.
What's up, guys? This is Assuming We Survive, and you're watching Inravio TV Network.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Hey, we're back. We are back. Hey, this weekend we got the Can-Am Pro Series. Will be at Watkins Glen, as will be the Cup Series. They'll be there as well. Friday, the Truck Series will be in Eldora on dirt. That's always fun to watch. Truck Series on dirt, and it's how do I put it? The season's winding down.
Quickly, it's unbelievable how fast it came and went, and it's like I know it's not over yet, but boy,
It's going quick.
it's going quick.
It's going quick.
It really is.
And,
Now, just some of the things, of course, is looking ahead, but after the season wraps up, we'll have some different videos from old-timers,
yeah.
including some interviews we did with Cookie Visconti and Marty Himes and some of the other drivers back in the day there, so we'll have a lot of those every week as well that you can check out, which would be very nice to see.
Yes, it is. And we have a tentative date for the anniversary show, August 26th. I think that backed into 400, so we'll just confirm that up with the producers, executive producers at Inravio.
And see what it falls at.
See what it falls. Yeah, I believe that'll be the 400 event. Because this was a weird year. I missed a lot of shows. I went away a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I went away a lot.
Yeah.
You should try it, man. It's good.
I don't know what that's like.
Life's too short. I'm learning that. Life's way too short.
Yes, it is.
This is like the first year I went on vacation that didn't involve a race. And I took like 8 vacations, and only 1 involved a race.
Interesting.
Yeah. There's other things to do out there. But racing is still fun and good, and you have fun with it.
22 Figure 8 said they saw the Inravio van out on the road.
Yeah, he did.
One of the Inravio vans, they're all over the place.
He probably saw Truck 74.
You think so?
Yeah.
That's the East Island, East End Island, yeah.
Yeah. So he had to be out this way.
Eastern Long Island van.
You know, there's a bunch of them out there. So they go from like, I don't know, in Nassau County all the way to the Hamptons.
It's kind of nice because we get sponsors calling us going, oh, I keep seeing your vans all around the place.
Exactly.
So that's nice.
Exactly.
Good to know.
But yeah. It's all good. Anyway, we're wrapping up. And the next time we go back, it'll be August.
Wow, yeah.
August. One quick.
It did.
One quick. We're having fun.
So if you're racing, have some fun out there. Be safe.
Yeah, be safe. And wherever your endeavors will bring you, please be safe. You know, we want you in the chat room on a Facebook Live on Monday night. And if you can't catch it live, catch it on demand.
That's right.
www.inravio.com. Click on demand, pick the shows you want to watch. If there's one that you really enjoy,
And watch away.
you can watch it.
Tell your friends. Now, your friends can come and watch. They can watch anytime on demand. And don't forget, while you're at it in Ravio, you can go to the contest page, and there's shows there from the Paramount that we're giving tickets away for.
Yes.
So Paramount Theater in Huntington, Long Island, you just have to be able to get there for the show, obviously.
Yep.
But, you know, we got tickets we're giving away. I think what's up next week is Ted Nugent, right?
Nice.
So we got Ted Nugent concert next week. We're giving tickets away for, so get in there and get in
Yeah.
there. I think we got a couple other ones, too, that are popping
Yeah,
up.
we've had some good ones in the past. Trace Atkins.
You
Big Shot.
name them.
Yeah.
Big Shot, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, ZZ Top, Billy Gibbons, we gave away some tickets
Beatles
for.
tribute bands. It was good.
Beatles tribute bands,
A
yeah.
lot of stuff there.
A lot of good shows over there. So if you don't get tickets, you don't win the tickets, you can always go to ParamountNY.com to buy tickets for Paramount. It's a great place to watch a show.
And put the Marty Himes chat thing on your calendar for August 25th and go tell some
The
stories.
Old Timers Day, yeah.
And if you're like the 22 figure 8, you're not old enough to remember those things, they will fill you in, believe me. Anyway, time to go.
That's right.
Everybody, good night. Be safe, be careful. Give somebody a hug. Tell them you love them. See you next week.
Take care.